Hi, it's Michael from Culture Talk and Tours. On episode 1, we toured the Fine Arts Museum. Today we're having a talk and a little tour of Lei Gallery, and with us today is the founder of Lei Gallery, Jon Renzella. Jon, thanks for having time for us today.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me.
We wanted to know how you started the Lei Gallery.
So the gallery started back in 2010. I had a residency at a place called Stock 20.
Right.
It's a big warehouse down by the train station.
Right.
And so I had a whole big warehouse to myself for a whole year, and it was too much space for just making my work. And so I had a lot of friends and people I knew here who were artists, but it's not easy to get an exhibition here if you're kind of a newcomer.
Right.
And so I knew all these creative people and I wanted them to be able to show their work. So I took the front part of the giant warehouse and I turned it into a gallery. And I did a monthly exhibition there every month for the whole year I was there, and it was well received. People enjoyed it. It was a good time. So after the residency ended, I moved to this building and continued the gallery here.
So you've been here since
2011.
2011, okay. And what would you say are some benefits of having a show at Lei Gallery?
Well, hopefully it's stress-free. I try to make it as sort of easy as possible for people to have a show.
Right.
And you get to do whatever you like.
Right.
So the whole month belongs to the artist. So they can do as big or as little of an event as they want. Put as many or as few works as they want in the gallery.
Right.
And also we're nonprofit, so we don't take any money from any artists. So there's no fee to rent the gallery, and if the artist sells their work, they can keep 100% of it.
So no commissions taken by the gallery?
No, none of that.
Okay.
But the reason for that is that we're more of an art center. So there's my studio here, there's a few other artist studios in the building, and we have this room in the front that we use as a gallery. So we don't really operate as a gallery. So we don't have to kind of make money as a gallery.
Right.
So.
Okay. And I've been to a few openings here, and it's a quite, as you were saying, stress-free, almost like a party atmosphere. So it's a great place to meet new people, to meet new artists.
Yeah, we hope that it'll help artists meet other artists and kind of build a little bit of a community around creative people.
Right. Because I'm new to Taichung, but I've noticed that a lot of the art community doesn't know each other. So hopefully that will change.
Well, that was one of the great things for me being at Stock 20 is there was, I think, 10 or 11 art studios there, and it was all Taiwanese artists.
Right.
And so I got to know a lot of them, and it was a great benefit. But unfortunately, Stock 20 is no longer in operation.
Right. Now, also, there's been a few shows that I didn't come to here that were quite extraordinary and imaginative. And the one that comes to mind was the artist that was making the dancers with the onion skin.
Right, yeah, Sarah Heckles.
Yes.
She would find the onion skins that would flake off of the onion and kind of tear them out or use them as they were found and glue them onto paper and make compositions out of them.
But it was almost like dancers.
Yeah, they were based on dancers.
Yeah, like ballet dancers. And we've seen a few shows here, so it can be photography, it can be poetry, it can be...
We've had everything, I think. We have all kinds of traditional art, we've had digital art, we've had installations, we've done live music in the gallery, we've done workshops, we did bookbinding, songwriting, yeah, you name it. Over the years, we've done a lot, and a lot of that was done by the other resident artists who have studios here. So if they have a particular area of interest or expertise, they'll run a workshop, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so if someone is creative, as creative as making compositions from onion peel, we will attach your Instagram and the gallery's Facebook at the bottom of this post. Jon's not only the founder, he's also a fabulous artist, so we're going to show some of his works. And your main focus is printmaking with what material?
Yeah, so I'm a woodcutter.
Okay.
And mostly black and white woodcut, but as you can see, some of them are color. The ones that are color, I like to paint with watercolor. So I prefer the immediacy of painting them to kind of the tediousy of multi-block color prints.
But you can see how huge, and there's one behind me as well. Now Jon does have a press here.
That's right.
On the premises, but you do a lot of it by hand as well with just...
Yeah, most of these will fit on the press, but the really big ones just too big, so you got to print them with a wooden spoon.
And that takes...
Yeah. This one here, for example, this is 8 foot by maybe 3.5 feet, and that takes about 8 hours to print one of them.
Right.
If it's one person printing. Sometimes people will come and help out, and it might take 6 hours, but
right.
It's quite an activity. It's really it's hard work.
Yes, it's quite physical. And you were saying before that it's almost bittersweet to sell it because you
right.
put so much work into it, and then
you got to print one.
And you've got to print one.
Yeah. So for these ones, like if there's an edition, I won't print the whole edition.
No.
Because I don't have 40 hours to print an edition of 5.
Right.
So if one sells, then I'll print it.
And then after, we'll also have a look. Jon keeps all of his, do you call it a plaque? A wood?
The blocks.
The blocks, yeah. So
there's a bunch back
you
here.
can see they're capped, and they're almost, well, it is. It's like an artwork in itself. You could almost just frame that. Do you have a smaller piece that we could look at?
Yeah, I have one that is in progress that I'm drawing, and
then
I have another one that I've carved.
Okay.
Let's see. So this is the piece I'm currently working on. So it starts out with a blank piece of wood. This is MDF.
Right.
And then I use markers, pencil and marker, and I draw on it. I do sort of comic book method, so I'll pencil it first, and then I'll go over it with ink. And then so everything that's white, you carve out, and everything that's black, you leave behind.
Right.
So you make a big stamp, basically.
It's wonderful.
And then I can show you the other one, the carved one. So this is an example of one that's carved. It's a little bit dusty. It's been sitting here, but you can see the white space is all carved out. And so you roll ink on the top of it and put paper on that, run it through the press, or run it under a wooden spoon.
Okay.
And you get your prints.
And do you have this one on display here?
I don't have one of these hanging up here. I think I've got one rolled up over there, but this is on my website. You can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a self-portrait. Oh. And it's made up of sort of friends, family, loved ones, and influences.
So you can see the carving here.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of detail of that. Yeah, it's wonderful. And Jon's not only a printmaker, I heard you're also a tattoo artist?
Yes. I did an apprenticeship here in Taiwan, in Taichung.
Okay.
At a shop called Diaoyue.
Okay.
And from 2011 to 2015, I think. And then after that, I started my own little studio.
So you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do that.
Always doing something. So let's have a look at the space that is Lei Gallery. Thanks, Jon, for the talk. Let's go see who's showing in the gallery. Let's go see the space.
I think you're going to like this show a lot. This is a printmaker who's new to Taichung. You might have heard of him.
I recognize this work.
It's an up-and-coming artist called Michael Clayton.
Yes, I like it.
He made these works mostly in Mexico. And you can see that from the iconography and the imagery, and also the technique.
Thank you. And I wanted to talk about how great it was to meet Jon, because I sent a message to my friend Nick, who I worked with, and I said, hi, I'm new to Taichung. Do you know anyone? I have these prints. And the first name was you. And then he sent me your Facebook account, which we're going to post below this, and then I started looking at your videos, and then the next day I met you at the Compass Music and Food Festival.
That's right.
And then I occupied his whole morning talking about my story, because it was just so great to see your work and to meet someone. And Jon said, send in your work. So I sent in some pictures All of these pieces were dragged from Canada in a little carry-on portfolio, and I sent it in, and Jon said it would be a good fit, and here we are today. So we wanted to thank you so much for kickstarting this again. So much has come from it, and as you can see by the red dots, we've sold several. So it's been a big success for us.
That's great, and thank you for making the space look nice. It's good to come into work every day and have a nice looking gallery.
And we had a nice party with some refreshments and hors d'oeuvres by our friend Bernie, who's a chef who made everything. So we hope that this is the first show of many here at Lei Gallery.
Sure.
Thank you for your time, and we'll see you on the next episode.